Welcome back to CBBBs, and you may have noticed everything's turned around. Yes folks, I literally turned it around 180 degrees so I could get it on the engine crane hoist thing to take the front wheel off again, but I'm not going to. It seems to be a brake issue. I think this caliper is like seized up. That's why the front wheel's not turning freely. We have leakage where we didn't have leakage before because I've moved it and everything spewed out down here somewhere. So it's either this little cable, which have proved dodgy in the past, or it's this connection. So first thing I'm going to do diagnosis wise is to actually take this caliper off, which I believe is kind of seized up on the disc, and then unchain the beast and see if I can push it back and forward easily. That'll at least tell me that that's the issue or not. Thought I was going to have to take the front wheel off because it was kind of binding and really difficult to push, but having taken the calipers away, it's rolling quite nicely now, so that's good news. But I think this whole brake thing is becoming a real pain. Oops, suddenly realised got no speedo. Ordered another one of these because they're kind of cool. Yes folks, we have a speedo. We have no brakes and we have no fuel tank. Just a couple of minor issues to rectify. I didn't bother going through all the mounting and wiring of the Speedo because you've seen it all before on the Kawasaki episodes, and if you haven't, you can check it out if you want to know how to do that. It's clearly labelled fitting a GPS speedometer, so you'll have no problem finding it. New brake line and bolts are in. Everything is refitted, including our new Ven Hill quality brake line. No leaks. That's just some splatters from when I was filling it up. So we're in the process of filling and bleeding. And the boys at Ven Hill, they're actually an English company. They're down in Surrey somewhere, but they're also over here in the US, which is very handy. They also do custom clutch cables, which I thought I might need. Always potentially an issue when you fit much shorter handlebars, but as you can see, I have managed to fit the original Honda one. It does a little bit of curving over there. It was quite a fiddle to get on down here, but the method is to undo that bottom nut completely, slip the thread through this hole here, and the cable goes through that little gap there, and then finally clip that piece into place on the actual lever itself down here. So yeah, that's that. Having done the bottom end first, I found at the top it was easiest to actually undo the lever, take the lever out altogether, get the cable all sorted and routed, and then just bolt the cable back in. The lever. We have movement, not a lot, quite stiff. So we have brakes to some degree, we have a clutch that might work, might not, I'm not sure. We just need a fuel tank now. Welcome back to Project CBBB, and we are tanking it. We have a repositioned Petcock. So all we got to do now is connect it up, I suppose. There's a couple of potential issues following that. Firstly, the brakes, the front brakes, not leaking anymore. Great, plenty of pressure on the lever, which is good, and a lot of pressure on the front wheel. I cannot push it. They seem to be kind of seized. I think I mentioned that last time. So I'm kind of waiting till it's running to see if that will free up once we actually move it. You know, it's brand new pads and I've been messing around with the lines and everything, so we'll see what happens there. The other is, of course, that it was around when parked, so I've never heard this vehicle running. I don't know if it will or not. All we can do is put a little fuel in the tank and see what happens, I guess. So thanks for tuning in to what could be the final episode of this build. It might not be, can't give you any promises on that, but appreciate you tuning in. If at any time you think the video is any good, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere and all that stuff. So let's get on with it. There we go. That's a much better angle of dangle. No kinks, so we're just going to snip that about there and connect it all up. And I got one of these fancy little circlip things to put over it, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm not going to clamp it in, just in case we have to take it off again. But yeah, altogether much better. I might even shave a little bit more off to make that more of an angle. Don't want it to kink though. So I did, yeah, I took another about 10mm off. That's even better. Shall we fill it up with some petroleum? This is exciting. If it starts, it'll be the first time I've heard it. I doubt very much it will, but you never know. No leaks anywhere yet, anyway. Spoke too soon. Yes, lots of petroleum coming out, luckily, of the overflows that we put in. I think that's something to do with floats being jammed or something. So I've given everything a little tap with a hammer, and we'll give it another go. Nothing you can't fix with a hammer. Till our new Petcock works, at least. Yes, folks, we've opened up the garage door to give it a go. We've got fire extinguisher handy, just in case. I just really want to find out if there's any kind of hope of it starting. And I promise you, I have not tried before. This is the very first attempt to fire this baby up. So, without further ado, still leaking and not firing, possibly no spark. Not even a cough or a splatter. So I guess I'll see you next time, and we'll try and get to the bottom of it, because we all want to hear it fire up, right? So once again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you appreciated the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.